Sports JR.
Hey, Coach.
Hi.
David Lee said preseason that he feels it's smart for the team to wait for you to get a grasp on the roster before the team makes additions in the transfer window.
Mm-hmm.
So ultimately, is it your decision to give the club your blessing for to open up moves forward with adding talent?
No, it's not only about my blessing. It's in conversation with each other. I think David has told you this also. For me, as a coach coming in, a new coach with a roster I don't know, you always have the opportunity in preseason to get to know each other. But from the first day on, we're in conversation how to strengthen the squad and how we can create more depth in the squad. So that's an ongoing conversation, and it's not only my decision.
Onto the Zoom, we'll go with Scott.
Hey, Coach, how are you? Scott Shirkin, Stream Punk Soccer. Appreciate the
Hi,
time.
Scott.
Hey,
Hi.
talk a little bit. Obviously, 8 minutes in, Tavon had to come out. How is he doing, and how did that change the entire course of the match? Thanks.
Yeah, interesting question. We're still dealing with Tavon's situation. There is no clarity on what happened exactly, but he felt pain in his right leg, and we're trying to examine him and find out what the problem is. So we'll have to wait and see first.
Michael Allen.
Hi, Coach Michael Allen, Pro Soccer. Thanks for the time.
Hi, Michael.
Tough result out there tonight. Hi. Just obviously, it's been two games now where you've given up a late goal in the final minutes of the match after playing a pretty good match on the road in a tough
Mhm.
situation. Just wondering what you said to the team tonight after the match, and what are the steps that you need to take next to correct this, caving at the end of the matches?
Yeah, also a very interesting question. The one thing I will say, what we shared after the match in the dressing room, is that you can play an even match, because I think the game was in balance over the time of the match. But details will always make the difference once a game is in balance. It can be a set piece in offense or defense. And now it was one moment where they're in attack and we don't have the situation under control yet. And we give away our advantage in being in a good position. And we get punished for it. So it's a detail in this game that makes the difference. And playing games, as I said, in balance will always be decided by detail. So that's also the case looking at the game from last week in Miami. And I believe my guys are quick learners. And unfortunately, this is a moment where we still have to understand that different behavior is required in order to stay away from this type of situations.
Alex.
Good evening, Pascal. This is Alex Only from AM New York.
Hi, Alex.
Hi. What are your overall impressions of the team's performance tonight, and where do you feel the game got away from you guys? Thanks.
Well, I mentioned to your colleague just now, I think the game overall was in balance. A tough game away, LA, strong squad with good players. But I think it was a very competitive game, a very tight game. And as I explained to your colleague just now, details will make the difference when a game is in balance. And unfortunately, one detail when we conceded a goal, we were not... we switched off for just 1 or 2 seconds and got punished for it. So that's the biggest difference in this game.
Michael.
Pascal, it's Mike Andrew from Blue City Radio. Thanks for the time as well.
Hi, Mike.
It's second game in a row you take out Maxi Morales, and the team seems to lose its connectivity. How concerning is it that the team seems to hinge on one player and you don't seem to have any options?
Well, I disagree. We have options. Pepe came on. Pepe is also being prepared to play 90-minute games again. I had to make a decision in this game in order to create a different situation, a different dynamic in midfield. And that's why Pepe came on. So it's not a situation where I kicked off Maxi. On the contrary, because I don't kick out any player. I just look at the game and I think about solutions, how we can get the game to go forward in our direction. And that's why I chose to bring on other players.
Anthony.
Hey, Coach. Anthony Merced, AJM Sports.
Hi, Anthony.
Hi. You mentioned this a little bit when answering the previous question. It seemed like some of the substitutions you made late in the game were to make an attempt to open up the game a bit more, especially since it seemed like it was a bit of a stalemate in the middle of the field. Can you talk a little bit about what your intentions were in the midfield to change the flow of what seemed like a really tight game?
Well, if you watch closely, and I think you did, we had an overload situation in midfield. We were playing 3 against 2 the majority of the game, and the guys in the middle played that quite well. But the movement off the ball from midfield was something I was looking for with Pepe. He has the quality to play in similar areas than as Maxi, but also can make some more movement off the ball in supporting Alonso. So that was one of the reasons I put in Pepe in midfield. And if you look at the sub with Agu and Muncev, creating a different dynamic on the flank in the wide area. So we put in Agu from a situation and a perspective that he could play 1v1 in the wide area just a little bit better and more specific than Muncev could. And on the right side with Juli coming in for Hannes, as you mentioned, the game opened up, and that means there's always more room for attackers, and fresh attackers can bring fresh energy and more threat towards the goal of the opponent. So those were some of the ideas behind the subs.
Final one, we'll go back to the room again.
Coach, question about Muncev Bakrar and Alonso Martinez. We saw in preseason in California here, you had them up top 2 strikers for a little bit, and then they switched on and off. Sounded like it was like a little fluid. Here, it looked like Bakrar was playing more of a left wing, but maybe pinched in a little bit more. Is it up to them to determine their kind of formation, or is it something that you tell them depending on like what the defense is showing?
No, we address these things in training, obviously, and playing with Muncev in this position, there was a specific situation that I was trying to create with the team on and off the ball. In possession, Muncev had the freedom to go a little bit closer to Alonso and create the 1v1 situation in the middle. The opponent, however, started with 3 central defenders, so that changed just a little bit. But out of possession, we have to reset in a new shape, and there were 2 choices for Muncev to either play next to Alonso or come down and play next to Keaton or Justin out of possession. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, Keaton, tough loss tonight. I just wanted to ask about Maxi Morales. I mean, obviously you played with him for a long time. Definitely see a difference in the team when he leaves the pitch. What is like the biggest difference for you as someone that plays, adjacent to him throughout the game?
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, I think he controls the game very well. He controls the tempo on and off the ball. He gets the press going when we need it. He slows it down when we need to. And yeah, I think you can see as soon as he came off, we do lose a little bit of that control, a little bit of that control of the tempo in the game. And yeah, I mean, that's his big thing. He's a very experienced player. He has a lot of minutes, and he knows how to control games. And so yeah, it's an adaptation that we need to get used to, and we need to adjust mid-game to control these games, finish them out.
Anthony?
Hey, Keaton. So the first half in particular really seemed like a stalemate in the midfield. What were some of the things you saw, whether they be frustrations or openings that maybe you thought the team could learn from and take advantage of going into the home opener next week?
Yeah, I thought we were progressing the ball well. I thought we were breaking them down in the midfield, and I think we had an overload, and we were finding Maxi in behind the lines and sometimes Alonso. And as long as we moved the ball from side to side, they had a lot of space on the outside. So I thought we were progressing the ball well. And then I just thought we weren't very dangerous in the final third. I think we needed to be better on the ball, pay attention to the details, and finish things off, create chances. But I don't think we were very dangerous tonight.
Michael?
Hey, Keaton, it's Mike Ander from Blue City Radio. Thanks for the time. Last year, you had said when the midfield was yourself, James Sands, and Andres Pereira, that it was tough for you guys to play because none of the 3 of you were really true number 10s. Tonight, after Maxi came off, Pascal tried you, Justin, and Andres or Pepe in that midfield, and it seemed to not work again. Do you think you guys have changed? Has one of you learned to play that role as a 10, or is it more of the same from last year?
I think there's still a learning curve there. I think, like you said, I think we did lose a little bit of the control of the game in those final minutes when Maxi came off. And yeah, it's just something that we need to be more confident in. I think we possess the skills to play the same way, to play the number 10 position. And we just need to be more confident and adapt to being in that position. So when Pepe came on, I think he just needs to be confident and finding himself in the pockets and turning on the ball. And but yeah, I just think it's like a learning curve. Again, it's a new trio of midfielders. Justin stepping in for James Sands, and then obviously Pepe coming in late in the game it's a different vibe than like we were playing together and training all week and then starting the games together. So yes, there's definitely a learning curve there. It's different without Maxi on the field, but it's just something that we have to learn to do because he's not going to play every minute this year, and we need to control the midfield.
Final one, Scott.
Hey, Keaton, how are you? Scott Shirk from Stream Punk Soccer. Looking ahead a little bit, last year you had 2 matches on the road and then a home match. This year, 2 matches on the road and now a home match. Talk a little bit about what you've got upcoming with Orlando and how much you're looking forward to playing in front of the home fans this time around. Thanks.
Yeah, very excited to get back home, play in front of our fans again. It's been a long time, and obviously the last time we were playing in front of them, it didn't go our way. So very excited to get back to New York and obviously just be home with my family too. But yeah, it's time for a win as well. I think if we would have got the point tonight, which I think we should have closed the game out. It would have been a good 2 points to start the season. But we'll learn from this. We'll move forward and we'll bring a strong performance home for you guys.
Great. Thank you, everybody.